Acting Town Clerk, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Time is 6:32, and I call the regular meeting of the Milliken Board of Trustees for September 22nd, 2021 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the Acting Town Clerk please call roll?
Yes, Mayor. Trustee Granquist?
Here.
Trustee Long? Here. Trustee Meisner?
Here.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Here.
Trustee Wakeman?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Here.
And Mayor Austin.
Here. Does anyone have any additions or deletions to the agenda? I would like to add on under discussion, follow up on the speeding issues in town. Anything else?
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Thank you. Acting Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Granquist?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
And Mayor Austin.
Yes. Thank you. Do we have any citizens' comments tonight? Hearing none, we'll just skip that portion. Meeting minutes. Is there any discussion or comments on the meeting minutes of September 8th? Hearing none, I'll take a motion.
I move we approve the minutes for September 8th, 2021.
Second.
Acting Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Granquist?
Yes.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
And Mayor Austin.
Yes. Okay, is there any comment or questions on the paid list of bills? Guess not. Hearing none, we'll move on to the Town Administrator's report. Town Administrator Cheryl Powell.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As you can see, we're running low on staff. We've had illnesses and vacations. So anyway, I appreciate Courtney filling in because the town clerk's backup is out as well. So anyway, so we all get a little bit of trying something new. Well County Road, I don't know if anybody's been down at Well County Road 46. So there were improvements made to it. The improvements are much like what we did with County Road 21. So the road is a lot smoother and the surface is more solid. So hopefully this will hold up and not create some of the problems we were having down there before. It'll be nice someday to be able to fully improve that road, but I think that's going to end up coming more with development in that area than at this point in time. So, but it's much better. I rode down it yesterday just to see for myself, and I was, because they were harvesting out there, and so these big trucks are coming down it. So I was kind of glad we had it done at this point in time. I think it packs it in a little better, makes it a little more solid. And so, anyway, road very nice. The old tandem truck, this was a item that we had in our budget for this year. To have that converted to a water truck has been completed. It took them a little over a month longer than what they anticipated, just because they couldn't get parts and so on. So we got it back on Monday, and it's pretty incredible. So we'll be able to use either water in that and or mag chloride. So the mag chloride would be the dust suppression on roads that are not improved. So that'll be beneficial to us. We won't have to hire somebody to come out and do it. We'll be able to do it ourselves. And it's reusing a vehicle that had almost seen its useful life. So it looks really nice. The IGA with the city of Greeley has been approved by their water board. and it will be taken to their city council on October 5th. So we just have one more step to go. I'm really excited. I was very excited. This was news I received on Friday afternoon. So, if this is approved by their council, I will bring it to you on October 13th. Their approval will lower our water rates as they currently are. So the rates we would be charged would be whatever the City of Greeley residents are paying plus 10%. Right now, our rates would be about $5.40, I think, is what we figured out. And currently we're paying $6.80. So that'll be a great improvement. Also, in this new agreement, they will treat 70 acre feet of our GLIC water. And that's per month during the months that the Boyd Lake plant is open. That plant is open between May and September. So 70 acre feet, just so everybody knows, in 1 acre foot, there's 325,851 gallons. So that's a lot of water that we'll be able to utilize that we've have not been able to use. So at our next step after this is approved, it would be to take those water shares through water court to have them changed to municipal use. Currently, right now, they're used for irrigation. So it adds quite a bit to our water portfolio, I think, at least during the hot summer months when we need it the most.
2.25 million gallons.
So, yeah. So right now that water's sitting there, actually. So I'm excited about that. We are trying to schedule a broadband discussion. So we met today, the town of Johnstown, Berthoud, and Meade, and myself, along with Tim Scott, who's our owner's rep, and John Honker from Magellan, who is doing the broadband study for us, the feasibility study. So we're trying to look at dates for next month on a Tuesday or a Thursday for them to provide all boards a summary of what we have gotten from this study and discussions they've had with providers. So I will let you know right now. Like I said, we're looking at a Tuesday or Thursday. So that would be either October 14th, 19th, 21st, or 28th. And as many as you would like to attend, I would love for you to be there. We're looking at possibly doing it at the YMCA facility because it's got a bigger meeting room that we could all utilize. And we figured we would have all 4 towns there at the same time. So if there's any questions, either they can be answered or everybody will know what that question is for the owner's rep and or Magellan to go out and find the answer to for us. So that's what I have going. So, thank you.
Thank you. I do see that the weeds got cut at the grain elevator.
Correct.
So did they come in compliance or did we have to go
We
abate that?
ended up abating that. We did ask for that to happen, but unfortunately, no. So it was an abatement.
Okay, well, it looks much improved. I just want to say thank you for following up.
Sure.
Any other questions, Town Administrator?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Yes?
I notice on Facebook and next door, there are a tremendous number of people that are having difficulties with their internet. And a number of them have made suggestions as to why can't we have fiber? And I'm thinking, well, have you looked at the price?
But that's exactly what we're
I
looking
know,
at right
I
now.
know.
And so the nice thing is there's actually providers out there that will come in and install it for us, and of course we're not looking at it, I don't think, at least I'm not, as a moneymaker for the town, because we don't want to get into the business of fiber, but we want the service here for our residents. Another option, if you will, regardless, I don't know what it's going to cost per resident. but it's another option. So I'm excited, again, if we opt out of that Senate Bill 152 and we do find a good provider to come here, and we'll work with all 4 municipalities that will have that extra service for all the residents. So,
Well, especially considering the fact that a lot of people are not going to be going back to offices.
that's correct. And or school. Some parents have decided to keep their children home from school. So,
Good point. Okay. All right. Hearing no further comment, we'll go to the action agenda. First item is consideration and approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the town and Weld RE5J School District concerning annexations and school site dedication or payments in lieu for school purposes. Cheryl Powell, Town Administrator.
yes, Mayor and trustees, this agreement that's in this package that's proposed is what came out of the joint work session between the school board and our town board. I know we had some discussion over the work session that perhaps we want to suggest a few other changes made to it. But this is the working draft, if you will. So if anybody has any comments they would like to make on that.
Okay. Opening up for discussion, starting with Trustee Meisner.
I think I had all my questions answered.
Okay. Trustee Rodriguez.
I have no questions.
Trustee Wakeman.
So my question is whether we received the master plan as was discussed in our joint work session with them. And I think it would be of value to the town to have that incorporated into the IGA, or as part of the IGA, that we have a reference to that, because it has become such a important document. I think the school district is committed to holding to that master plan, and for the future of Milliken, I would like to see that incorporated into the intergovernmental agreement.
Just so I can speak to Attorney Gould, and I think it would be a good idea to do that. So the master plan, and if I might suggest a framework map as part of that, because that is a little less cumbersome to go through and a little easier to follow, but as additional exhibits to this document. So would you like me to speak to him and we can revise this and then bring it back to at the next meeting?
I would like that, yes.
Okay.
Okay, but we wouldn't want to be held just to that agreement, would we? Because like if the charter school wanted to come in, we would want that to be considered for cash and lieu payments, wouldn't we? If we say it can only be limited to what the planning that RE5J provided to us, that would limit us.
Oh, no, I am not saying it's limited to that. I'm just saying that should be part of our documentation of what the, an indication of what the school district's master plan is, so that the town of Milliken can anticipate what's to come for new school development within our municipality.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for the clarification. Any other comment?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Trustee Granquist?
Before I go, I'll let Meisner.
Didn't the copy that I get, wasn't that from 2019?
Yes, so
So it's not the final plan.
it's the last version they've had. They have not updated that framework map yet.
The reason I'm asking is because that one showed them doing the middle school here first. And we know that isn't happening.
So perhaps what we can do is, and we can revisit the IGA every year and ask for an updated framework map from the school district. We've already indicated they were going to meet with them at least once a year. Mm-hmm. And, we're very open now to sharing documents. I did receive the cash in lieu report for this last audited year. It's an unaudited amount, but that's what was provided to the auditors. So unless the auditors find something. So I think that would be part of the discussion with the school district every year before a new IGA or an amended IGA is approved.
I guess in reference to that, I would like to see that information passed on to the town so that it stays in front of us, that we have that report from them annually. It gives us an opportunity to review it. I think we're supposed to review by December 31st. We don't have any obligations, if I understand the IGA correctly. We don't have any obligation to get back to them necessarily, but we're supposed to review by December 31st. So if we would have any questions come up or anything after we receive that report, I think it would be nice to have it on our agenda annually to look at that.
I agree. Annexations can happen within a year, and it could change the whole idea that they have and,
Right.
and where things need to be placed. So I think it's an important document.
Yeah. The whole idea is for us to work together.
Correct.
So just so I understand and summarize, are you talking to Gold about putting in language to reference the annual review of that?
The annual review and have an additional exhibit. Right now we have exhibit A and B, and
Right.
perhaps make those an exhibit C to at least include the framework map.
And so for my part, did you have notes already? I think we had spoken about multi-family dwelling type situation.
We can certainly talk to them about that. That's not been addressed in this before. So, I think it's worth a discussion.
Because under here, under Exhibit B, it says multi-family has the couples there, but it has a per acre. It's kind of on an acre base versus a family component or dwelling base or some other.
And maybe we need to understand what that is,
Right.
because that's the, which document is that? That's the.
Exhibit B.
The school district methodology, correct. So, so maybe it's just an understanding of this.
Yeah, because they've got
document.
acres per student capacity is actually less on a multifamily than it is on a single family detached.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you. That's
Okay.
all I had.
Trustee Long,
Nothing from me.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
I have nothing.
I have no further comment. I'll take a motion on the matter.
Make a motion, we table this till what is the next meeting?
October 13th.
October 13th meeting?
I second it.
Acting Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Grandquist?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
And Mayor Austin.
Yes. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the consideration and approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the town and Weld RE5J School District Joint School Resource Officer Program. Cheryl Powell, Town Administrator.
Yes, Mayor and trustees. Again, this is another agreement that we spoke with the school board at our meeting on September 8th. This is for a school a student resource officer, school resource officer for Milliken that we've had in place for years. This agreement is it's been updated so that it's a little clearer. I'm trying to think of what exactly was changed in it. I do know we talked about that person being the attendance officer. So I'll let Fred talk on it. He wrote the agreement.
I drafted this one. So this is going hand in hand. I'm not sure if this is on. This is going hand in hand with the other IGA we're doing with the school district regarding use of our community core program for children who are truant from school. I did some research on this matter and looked like we could clean some stuff up a little bit. This is to specifically designate the school resource officer as the quote-unquote attendance officer that school districts need to have to help with kids who are truant in schools. Without boring you with details, there's an entire statute on school attendance built into, I can't remember exactly what title, but it's pretty all-encompassing. And it's just kind of getting our town relationship with the school district to essentially mirror what's contemplated by that statute. And that's what this IGA is for.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Granquist?
If I may, I'd like to ask Chief if there's any concerns or if you had a chance to look this over. Okay, and are you satisfied? Yeah. Okay. No other questions for me?
Trustee Long?
Nothing for me.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
I have nothing.
Trustee Wakeman?
No questions.
Trustee Rodriguez?
I have no questions.
Trustee Miesner?
No questions.
I have no questions. Hearing no further discussion, I'll take a motion on the matter.
I move to approve the intergovernmental agreement between the town of Milliken and the Veldari 5J School District for a joint school resource officer program.
Second.
Who's this first?
Just so excited to
I'll give it to
second that
Linda.
one.
To Linda.
Do
Give it to
you
Linda.
work on timing those?
You do.
There we go.
Great minds think alike.
Acting Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Granquist?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Miesner?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
And Mayor Austin.
Yes. Let's get those kids back in school. Alrighty, next item on the agenda is authorization for the town administrator to sign the proposal for a generator for the town's public works facility. To Cheryl Powell, Town Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and trustees. We've spoken about a generator or the lack of a generator at our public works facility for a while. Staff looked into grant opportunities. Amazingly, weren't any. We spoke with the Office of Emergency Management, and so they weren't able to come up with one for us. We really need to get a generator in place. The scary part is right now, if we order this generator tomorrow, the soonest we'll see it is June of 2022. And that's all the companies we spoke with. Not only that, it was difficult to get 3 quotes for a generator. It's this whole last year and a half, and materials, I don't know where they all are coming from, but obviously there's a lack of facilities putting them together. So I think it's imperative that the Public Works facility has a generator. All our other facilities do. Staff out there is the one that takes care of any snow events that happen. That's where a lot of the equipment is stored for these events. A power outage there a long power outage there could really impact things, especially in the winter. So I would like your permission. As I said, there's 3 quotes in here. One quote was from a refurbished generator that came with a 1-year warranty for about $12,000. I believe it was like $12,000 less than a brand new generator with a 5-year warranty. I would much prefer to go with the brand new generator. It still was at the lesser cost of the other bids we got. So
So, before we discuss the actual generator part, is there a possibility of having a portable generator on standby? So if we have an event, we can at least get the doors open and things like that down there? Or is that, there's no way to do that?
I don't know. Keith?
Anybody across?
It would be tricky. I mean, we might be able to get it small and just open up the doors and get the gas pumps working for everything. But to run the whole building, we wouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't think we could run the whole building, but I was thinking just the doors, the gas pumps. Is there a way to hook up a portable generator to those?
I'm not sure if there is a way to just isolate those two. There's the shop and the gas pumps.
Okay, because I was going to say, we'll go to he who has answers in just a moment. Ritchie Brothers auction on October 6th has some portable generators that are coming up for bid. So I just was going to make a comment about that. Trustee Drenquist, what can you tell us about hooking up a portable generator?
So it's not terrible actually to put in. It wouldn't, even for electrician license, all that, to put in an interlock. It's called an interlock switch. So the main power will come from the panel, go through the interlock, which then, if they have an outage, they can flip that switch, and then they can just have a plug that plugs in the side of a generator. Ritchie Brothers auctions, you can get like a 10 kW or something like that. It's not a 40 or a 60, but it would be enough. I mean, a 10 kW will run more than just gas pumps. It'll run pumps, lights, even some HVAC maybe to keep the buildings warm if you get thaw stuff or whatever. It's not going to be a full replacement, but it would be a bridge. And then if we do buy at Ritchie Brothers or something, you can get a year or two out of it, but then you've got something also that
You can use
float
for other
around
things.
down the road, you know, as opposed to just leasing one for a year or something like that. I mean, not that we can't look in the option, but I would lean more towards the Ritchie Brothers auction, buy something that's good but used. 10 kW would be fine.
Do you know what the cost of those are?
Offhand, no.
Okay. I have no idea.
Because of the shortage on new, it's like all the used cars. It's the same thing.
There's three that I saw at auction. I'll send you the email because I took pictures of them, I think.
Okay.
But we
That's a
can get
good idea because then
Yeah.
we can utilize it for something else.
Because when they put in the main, and you might talk to the electrician, when they put in the main one, they're going to have to put an interlock switch, whether it's automatic or manual. Probably automatic for the
It's
60,
automatic.
for the 60 kW. But they might be able to put a temp, like a temporary interlock that would have like four circuits or whatever the primary circuits are needed for pumps, you know, HVAC, lighting, some basic needs, and then you could identify what those circuits are and just interlock those four. For now, that's enough that a 10 kW could run.
Okay.
And then down the road, we can go to a 60.
Yeah, because it will be down the road.
Yeah.
It'll be a
you might
year
want-
away
you're gonna have
before
to go
this
through a
shows
winter.
up.
You're going to have to go through at least one winter without it.
Exactly.
So you have
But-
something that you can at least run the basic necessities.
So I think that we should add the costs of that onto this, amending the approval, so to speak. So as we go around, I'd like to get people's opinion.
Well, currently,
Yeah.
right
So-
now, we do have $50,000 in our budget that we put aside for 2021. I don't know what a cost of a portable generator would be. That's why I was curious.
Start on that end
Yeah.
and I'll have an answer for you shortly.
Okay. Starting with Trustee Meisner, could you please offer your thoughts?
Well, I think getting a portable before we can get the other one, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
And my son bought I don't know how big it is, but he bought one of those portable generators from Ritchie Brothers, and he's had it for about 6 years now, and it has worked absolutely fine.
Okay. So we want to do both. We have a stopgap measure and then the permanent. Okay. Trustee Rodriguez.
I'm in agreement with Trustee Meisner and Trustee Greenquist. My only other question is with regard to us paying for the generator now, the new one, with the warranty, is it when it arrives or when we pay for it?
My understanding is when it arrives, when it gets installed.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Trustee Wakeman.
I don't believe I have any other questions, and I'm in agreement that both seem like a wise decision for us.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich.
I would agree with everybody else's opinion. We need that backup.
Trustee Long?
I am in agreement, although I have a question because you mentioned putting in some kind of a switch. Like, what kind of cost is involved in that for our interim, like, stopgap solution now? Because that needs to be added into the cost of
Correct.
whatever we might buy.
So it would probably have to be done by an electrician, and we would have to, of course, get a quote from them as to what that is. I mean, seeing as this is additional information, all good information, we would have to investigate with one of our local or the electrical company that we use.
I can look into that.
And then what the cost of a used generator at Ritchie Brothers could potentially cost us. So
I think I would just say, you usually exercise good judgment. If it's a reasonable cost, we can,
It's
let's
gotta be
face
done,
it.
so it doesn't
Well,
matter.
and if it's
If you're gonna
something
use a
that,
generator, you gotta have it.
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is it's something that can be integrated into what's going to happen when the new one is installed, or is it something that
well, I think it
it's going to have
certainly
to be
will.
treated separately?
I think it certainly would assist because if something's in place that they can use while installing it, much like Trustee Granquist said, have it set up with the switches that you can use for the temporary. I think that's the terminology you use. And also for when the permanent generator is installed, because it will be an automatic startup, not a manual startup. The other would be manual. And then the permanent generator would be automatic.
And then just more for curiosity at this point, I'd be curious what kind of other uses we would have for that after. Or is it something where we're going to use it until the new one is installed and it's going to sit for 2 or 3 years because we're not really sure what to do with it?
We do use our generators for events.
Okay.
So we rent them currently. So this could certainly help alleviate some of the rental that we've had to expend.
I think on the barbecue, we had 2 5 kWs. I think those were 5 kW.
We had a 55, we had 2 45s, and then a 25.
45 kW or 4500? The
45
two, remember
kW.
the 2 that I started up? Well, those were,
Yeah.
I think those were 5. They were smaller.
Cost us almost $8,000.
Yeah. So for reference, for renting all of those is $8,000. You can buy a 25 kW trailer mount for about less than 10. So we could own a 25 kW for less than 10.
And
And
is that through Ritchie Brothers? Is that what they, or
Yeah.
are you just?
The Ritchie
looking-
Brothers bounced me over to, I don't know if I can say it on here, ironplanet.com, but I'm just looking, I just went to the fastest one I could find. It's in the neighborhood. You might be able to kind of bounce around between 8 and 10 grand. This is a 25 kW. If you got like a 10 or something lower, you might get down to.
And the trailer mount is the best thing because
Trailer
then you
mount,
can,
yeah.
yeah.
Because then we can actually lend it to the events committee for needs or.
We could do that, and we could also
Well, it's actually already
use it
in
on
that
job
50,000.
sites.
Huh?
Job sites,
Yeah.
especially if we got to do any late
Or
night
emergent,
stuff.
yeah, whatever.
I haven't spent anything yet.
So, but then I don't know what an interlock would cost, but if you figure a day for electrician plus equipment, in my head, I would say 1,200, 1,000, 15, somewhere in there. And, again, it depends on the electrician's fee and what kind of equipment they put in and how many, if it's a standard 4 circuit, you could probably buy equipment for 300 to 400, maybe as much as 6, and then whatever day labor for 1 or 2 electricians to install it.
Well, but Wade has a good point. So depending on what the costs come in, because we budgeted 50,000, we may be looking for a budget appropriation on this item, just because our facilities maintenance budget, we've expended that for this year already. So,
Understood. Maybe we can squeeze someplace else, but sure would be embarrassing if we can't get our doors open at Public Works to snowplow the streets.
oh, I agree.
I think,
Be hard to explain.
You could probably get a gen and the interlock installed and all that for less than 10, which would still keep us under the 50. This 96 is a 25 kW. You don't have to get a 25. You get a 20, or find something a little cheaper. This is over in Salt Lake, but
Well, I'll certainly have, I'll have Keith and Jason check into what's available out there. And, not something that we have to wait 8 months for and get through, that I could see getting a refurbished generator or a used generator, something that we're putting out at a facility. I don't see doing that.
and you might be able to talk to the refurbished folks and just compare them with the auction, because if they refurbish it and they've gone through it top to bottom.
Right.
Well, at least we know price-wise, when we go to auction, what we're looking at, so.
Okay.
Well, and another proposal too is rental companies that have them are usually wanting to get rid of their older fleets, so it might be something else to look at.
Oh, good idea.
Perfect. So we have some options there, so I'll take
thank you.
Is there any other further discussion? I want to make sure everything's covered. I'll take an amended motion.
Well, I move to authorize the town administrator to sign the proposal for the Protector 60 kW automatic standby generator from Collins Control and Electric for the town's public works facility, and to look into getting a generator for use in the meantime until the new one comes.
Second.
Acting Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Was that Rodriguez that said second? Okay, thank you. All right, Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Grandquist?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
And Mayor Austin?
Yes. Thank you. All right, moving on to the discussion agenda. We have a couple of meeting date changes that usually come up every year for our meetings towards the end of November and December. This is Cheryl Powell, Town Administrator.
Actually, it was going to be Carrie that spoke about this, but I think I can do that. So there's 2 meetings at the end of the year, one in November and one in December. The November date is the 24th currently. The 25th is Thanksgiving. So in the past, we've tried to change that to the Monday prior. So it would be 22nd. Thank you. So November 22nd for the that second meeting in November, and for the second meeting in December, instead of the 22nd, that would be the 20th, I believe.
I think those are good choices.
Okay.
Nobody wants to come to eat with their turkey in the oven.
And we'll be bringing to you a resolution with those dates on there, but we wanted to get a general consensus before doing so, that those were dates that seemed like they would be adequate for you guys.
What was the second one?
December 20th.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay. You have any other questions? No. Okay. Then we amended the agenda. Chief Garcia, can you give us an update on the speeding issues in town and what we are, how's that working?
Yes, thanks, Mayor. Board of Trustees. So as requested, I did follow up with the complaints that were brought forth the last meeting. Some of the things that I did visit the area, found the intersection on Saddleback. I did go out there, I assessed the situation out there, found that there were no speed limit signs out there. So I got with Keith and and Jason. Jason did order some speed limit signs to put up in that area. So once he ordered those, once those come in, then he'll go ahead and place those in different areas around Saddleback. That's one thing I noticed about the new subdivisions is that there's not a lot of speed limit signs out there, so we have to go out there. And if there's some of these long roads, just like Saddleback, roads like that do need some sort of speed common measures. So I also went out to the intersection that Trustee Long spoke about. That was the intersection of Saddleback and Wagon Trail regarding the stop signs. What I found there is that there's just three stop signs in that intersection. There are no crosswalks. Well, there weren't any crosswalks. There were no common measures in that area either. So I did reach out to Keith and Jason again. We did connect all the ADA ramps with the crosswalk out there. We did put some yield to pedestrian signs out there as well. So also that section there is connected to the path that leads to Ehrlich Lake and Outlet D. So a lot of traffic through there. I spoke to our folks also about extra patrols and enforcement to be utilized in that area with zero tolerance. So officers are out and about in those areas enforcing traffic. We were also going to utilize some grant funds. CDOT, they're sending out solicitation for equipment grants. So we're going to be utilizing some of those grants for some speed equipment, speed radar equipment. So we're looking about $4,000 to $5,000 per piece of equipment. So we started the paperwork on that. So we'll be submitting that to CDOT, and hopefully we'll get that. So it's also a portable, just like the other trailer that we have. So we can utilize that around town to different locations. We'll not only have just the one speed trailer, but we'll have both speed trailers, so we can have two in different locations. We can also track through the iCloud software that's embedded in that in the speed trailers. We can, and you've heard this before, we can track data, traffic data, speeds, different things like that with boat trailers.
I did receive a follow-up complaint. Apparently we've got speeding in Settlers Village down on Donner Lane now. Have you had any extra complaints about that?
No, haven't received any complaints.
Surprise! Now you have.
I knew that was coming.
So,
no, that's and that's another. Sorry to interrupt you. That's another something else that we followed up as well from the last meeting. Settlers was another location for speeders, so we're doing traffic enforcement out there as well.
Okay. They
With
want
zero
speed
tolerance.
bumps. We've talked about it before. We can't do speed bumps because of snow plowing and,
Yeah.
you know. Maybe we just get the mannequin, throw it out in the street every so often.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Clouds are right over that.
Yeah.
We have some extra uniforms, and we can dress them up.
Yeah. Well, anybody else have anything they want to bring up on speeding, stop sign problems? Any
So
questions?
the new trailer is identical or comparable to the current trailer, or
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be similar.
Okay.
The reason we went that route is because we can use the same iCloud software for both.
Okay.
So both connected to the software.
Okay. Any other discussion? The rest of our reports are written. So, hearing no other questions, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we are done at 7:17. Thank you.